With the Border-Gavaskar Trophy on the horizon, today we are building a dream team from the current squads of India and Australia.
Here's the twist, it's a draft. We'll pick one by one, each trying to outsmart the other to grab the biggest stars. The goal? To build the best combined 11.
Every pick counts, and by the end, only one of us will have crafted the ultimate India-Australia powerhouse. Let the draft begin. Hello and welcome to everyone to today's episode of the Reverse Sweep Show. This is your host Suyash, and joining me as ever is my co-host AB. How's it going, AB?
Last time I told you and everyone that there are a lot of new beginnings for me. This week was more about settling down in the city and in the house and the new job. But yeah, one thing which gave me a lot of comfort was watching the Indian T20 side play in South Africa and bash them across. So we won 3-1. But then I don't know how significant the series would be, but still we saw Sanju Samson, Tilak Verma, a few good players coming in. I'm happy for the T20 side. I don't know what's happening on the test front though. What's up with USS? How's it going?
Yeah, I was completely enamored by Tilak Verma and Sanju Samson in the fourth T20 game, and I do believe that this is going to be the way forward, going hard, and this T20 team looks like the one that uh, is the template team now going forward. And it's been a significant year when it comes at least to T20 eyes. India has won almost every game. Uh, so it's been exceptional, but we have now got bigger things to look forward to. It's the Border-Gavaskar Trophy down under again. We have been winning it for two times. Can we do a hat trick? Maybe not. Maybe yes. There's a lot to unravel over there. So, AB, for the listeners, what is today's topic?
As all of you would have already heard in the introduction to the podcast in the hook, we'll be creating our own hypothetical 11 for the BGT tour, but this time with a twist. It's going to be a draft pick. So we go one by one, pick players, and it will be a mutually exclusive team. So a player that I pick, SS cannot pick that, and vice versa. Having said that, SS, what are the rules of this draft game?
Yeah, so we will go one by one, as you mentioned. The first person gets the first draft, and then each turn, the other person will get two drafts till the point that we have consolidated our teams. The idea would be to make a combined 11 from the two squads that have been confirmed. We are not including any reserves. Uh, and the idea would be for Australian conditions, as this time the BGT is happening down under. So AB, now since draft, there could be so many variables depending upon who we pick. But from a general perspective, what type of combination are you going to ideally go with?
Yeah, so I think we have so many good players across the two teams. What is more important for me is to build a team which has a balanced team combination. So that combination would be the most important thing for me. And since we are talking about Australian conditions, I'd want to have batting depth, pace bowlers who can bat, and batters who can play bounce, have the experience of opening. I think opening is one of those places which is a slightly weakish point for both the teams right now. So I'd want to pick up those good openers. Good. There are so many middle order batters, so I think we'll have enough to choose from there, and then so many good options for spinners and pacers. But then it will be mostly about the team combination for me. What about you, SS?
I don't know if you're playing poker by giving some hints into your strategy about team building, but I wouldn't give much away. But essentially, four seeming all rounders. I mean, not all rounders, but four seeming pacers, and one of which could be an all rounder is the way to go for me. Uh, but then there are so many variables on how we pick, so it will be very interesting to do it. Uh, and considering the form guide of both the teams, especially Australia as well, they were not so convincing last time around versus Pakistan and West Indies. So there's a lot to pick and choose from career and not so much from form guide, maybe. So it will be a very interesting exercise. AB, since it was a big week for you, I will be benevolent and considerate enough to give you the first pick. So there you go. Go ahead, make your first pick.
I have one pick, right? I
Yes,
know
you have
it's
one pick.
I know exactly who I want to start with. My first pick is Pat Cummins at number 8 for me, who's also a captaincy candidate. And the reason is very simple what I told. I mean, there are so many good bowlers, but there is none who can also give me good batting at number 8 and can bowl at all stages of the match for me. So that's my number one pick, um, Pat Cummins. What about you? You have two picks, SS.
You stole my pick. I think that was my captaincy pick as a pick that I would have gone for. But I already knew that I would give you the first pick, and I thought that you will choose a certain person. And if you choose that certain person, I will in return choose Pat Cummins. So the script has been flipped, but I think my first pick would be Jasprit Bumrah. Uh, Gives you a leadership quality, but more than anything else, he's the best bowler going around in the circuit, and he has done so well in Australia as well before. Wasn't a convincing part of last BGT, but I think he will be up for this one, and he has got an exceptional record. Can bowl, I still remember that famous slower Yorker to Sean Marsh, which is treat to the eyes. I think he can do a lot of damage, and he has to be the leader for the real Indian team, but for my team as well. I think he can be the leader. So it's a way to neutralize your Pat Cummins. Maybe not with the bat, but I think he can do better with the ball. So Bumrah for me, the first pick. And since I get to do the second pick as well because I gave you the first pick, so my second pick will be I'm looking at the areas where both teams are right now in a flux, and I see opening position as a problem. I see some injuries there as well. I see lack of options when it comes to the Australian side. So I'm going to pick a left-hand opening batsman. I go with Usman Khwaja uh, in order to solidify at least one part of the opening. So Usman Khwaja, he's one guy in the BGT cycle that has been ongoing, has been fairly consistent. He's a left-hander as well. Uh, he's at the fag end of his career probably, but he has been very consistent in the last few years, and I think he will do well. He can play spin well as well, uh, and can make runs. He has taken more of like the senior partner role now. Warner has gone, so Khwaja for me. So those were my two picks. Usman Khwaja as my opener, Bumrah as my main strike bowler. Now over to you for your next two picks.
Yeah, I mean, you picked players that I honestly expected. If I pick Pat Cummins, then you have to pick Bumrah because you cannot leave him out for me. And
Yeah,
then opening slot, as you very rightly mentioned, is one place where there are so few options right now, and hence, since I have two picks, I have to pick an opener. Otherwise, I'll be left without a legitimate opener for my team. So I have to go for Yashasvi Jaiswal. So he's one of the openers for me. The next position, again, like it's the same principle that I was talking about earlier. I want to look at a world class bowler for Australian conditions or even otherwise who can also bat for me. So I want to pick up those players first. So I go with Ravichandran Ashwin at number 9.
very interesting.
What about you? Because
Ashwin,
yeah,
Ashwin hardly
because
plays. Ashwin hardly plays away from home.
that's the reason why I picked up Pat Cummins, right? So a pacer who can bat for me, so I can slot in Ashwin, who can again bat for me, a world class spinner, an offie, who can give me some runs, crucial runs with the bat. So for the team combination, I thought I need to have Pat Cummins to be able to slot in Ravichandran Ashwin. Now over to you, your
Interesting.
next two picks.
But if you could also, maybe I'm trying to play poker with you, but why did you go for Yashasvi Jaiswal when you had a couple of other more experienced options? Do you not trust them?
Jaiswal is such a unicorn. I have to pick
First,
him up.
first, first tour down under. Do you think he can
Well,
do well?
yeah, I mean, with the kind of abilities that he has, you have to go for him, right?
Okay, okay.
Plus,
You're not giving too much.
yeah.
All right, then I have now two picks available to me. So you have picked. Cummins and Ashwin in the sorry Ashwin and Yashasvi Jaiswal in your last round. So I am also looking at bowling as well as middle order now because I feel that that's a big gap. Uh, in bowling, I will go with Josh Hazelwood. I think he's very consistent as an Australian bowler, has got a very good record. I mean, those four combined Australian bowlers have more than 1,000 wickets and both an all average in mid 20s. In Australian conditions, if Hazelwood is fit, sometimes he has struggled with injury. He's an impeccable line and length bowler. There is no Cheteshwar Pujara this time to knock him down. And we all remember the spell in Adelaide last time as well in the 36 all out. So Josh Hazelwood for me, I think he complements Bumrah really well. So he's my second fast bowling pick. In terms of middle order batsmen, we are spoiled for choices. There are many not in the best of form. One of them decided to open and then now come in the middle order. Thankful to him. The entire cricketing world is. I go with Steve Smith. His career average is still remarkably high, but has really been pulled down in the last in the current World Test Championship cycle. But I think he takes a liking to Indian bowlers in Australia, and especially there is some innings experience in Indian bowling as well, so he can take a liking there. Um, he might struggle against Ashwin in India, but I think against your Ashwin in your squad, I think he'll do well in Australia. So Steve Smith for me, he also gives me a captaincy option as well if I want to. Forget about sandpaper. So Steve Smith for me, I think he will do well.
I like where you're going, SS. You want to use different means to win the series, like sandpaper, picking up Steve Smith and blatantly calling out sandpaper.
Yeah. You got it. You got it. There's no Warner now. Now even Warner is calling for sandpaper that there should be a reinvestigation and all that. So Steve Smith and Hazelwood. Now you are on the spot.
Yeah, I got to give it to you, but in all seriousness, these are two very strong picks and players that I would have wanted to pick in my team. Because you picked Hazelwood, so I got to go with the pacer, probably the fourth best pacer amongst the options that we have right now. So I will go with Stark.
Hmm.
And now is a tricky point for me. Since you went with Steve Smith, ideally I would want to go on the defensive and pick up Virat Kohli so I don't leave him for you. So it's a bit of a tricky point for me. But then there are so many other options. I think I will go with Virat Kohli because I can't leave him out. I can't let you pick up both Virat Kohli and Steve Smith in your team. So yeah, I will pick Virat Kohli at four. We have seen what he can do in Australia. Although the last tour he wasn't there for most of the tour,
Yeah.
but yeah, the tour before that we saw what he did. We all remember his twin tons in Adelaide. That's his ground. So I pick Virat Kohli at four. Over to USS.
I mean, Stark also has such a great record in Test cricket. I think he goes through cycles. Sometimes he's really on and off, but wobble ball experiments and everything. Virat has got such an exceptional record in Australia. The one place where you think that he can do really well is Australia, and he will be up for it. This is make or break almost for him, and these are the situations where you put him, and then he almost each time comes firing on. So yeah, I would have taken VK if you didn't. So that's a good one for you. Now I am a bit there. Now we are in the spot because I have got two players in my mind which I want, but it also leads to a couple of other options that probably you will go ahead and pick, and that could be detriment for my squad. But I will take that risk. I think I'm going with Rishabh Pant, wicket keeper option for me, and he has done so well in Australia. Takes a liking to the conditions, takes a liking to the bowling as well. He wasn't at his absolute best when it came to keeping versus New Zealand at home, but I think the Australian conditions might give him that benefit. I think with his after his accident, but we already saw in the New Zealand series how well he was batting. So Rishabh Pant for me also becomes a wicket keeping option for me and might come at 5 or 6. I was thinking of another 5 or 6. He might also open for me.
I can
Is
imagine.
I'm I I think I'm going with Travis Head.
Hmm.
He takes a liking to Indian team as well. Also has a lean WTC cycle actually, if you look at the statistics. But each time he comes against India, he's somehow possessed. Uh, so Travis Head for me also gives me a sixth bowling option as well. He can bowl a bit as well. So Travis Head for me, I have just beefed up my batting. So I think you have a lot of options in bowling. But yeah, so Rishabh Pant for me and Travis Head. So the two options. Passing it over to you now, AB.
Interesting. I mean, these are players that I would have definitely wanted to pick in my team as well. And you have also gone for players who are X factors, who can turn the game on its head when they are batting well, they are in the flow. We all saw what Rishabh Pant did last time around, and we all have the scarring memories of what Travis Head has done to India over the years.
Yeah.
So I have to give it to you as good picks. Definitely strengthens your middle order, and which also raises a few concerns for me, as in what kind of players do I want to slot in at 5, 6, 7 for me, because you have probably taken two of the major picks for me. So I have to go with one which is Mitch Marsh.
Yeah.
Again,
That's a solid
someone
pick.
who is in a good form with the bat for Australia, can bat for me at number 6 or even at number 5, and can also give me a few overs with the ball. He
Yeah.
can be a medium pacer, so very handy in Australian conditions. So I have Mitch Marsh. And now comes the tricky part for me, honestly. And I'm thinking, since I have to look at my batting, and I still have not picked up my second opener and my one down batter. I think I'll go with the. Okay, so this is a point where I'll have to think actually.
Take your time, take your time. But Mitchell Marsh is good. I mean, he has issues with injuries again. So when he is trying to bowl, you never know if he pulls up his hamstring or a groin. But I think he does very well as an enforcing batsman in Australian conditions. It's a sweet pick, but now you got to balance it out with the other pick, and it becomes difficult for us now because now there will be slim pickings, and we want to also make sure that our team is up to 11.
So I'll actually go with my second opening choice. I'll pick Rohit Sharma.
Yeah.
And I think Australian conditions suit him. He's one of the best pullers of the cricketing ball going around right now. We also saw glimpses of what he can do last time around when he scored a crucial 50 in the Gaba Test match along with Shubman Gill. That partnership we all
Mhm.
remember. So I think he's my pick, because otherwise there are few openers, right? So I will go ahead with Rohit Sharma. Over to you, SS. Who are your next two picks?
Yeah, I was also thinking about Rohit, that if you left him, and I think it's pretty clear now that he would be available for the earlier test matches as well. So if not, he will max miss out one test match. So that's a good pick. Uh, I now have a lot of things to consider. I also have a second opening slot that is still vacant, and I don't have any bowling available for me as well, and no all rounder. So I would so all around they have a couple of options, and because you there's no Cam Green available in this squad. Otherwise, that would have been an excellent pick for either of us. You've already taken a fast bowling all rounder with you. I have got an uncapped fast bowling all rounder in India to look out for, but I am going to just reserve that. Uh, I am going to go with Ravindra Jadeja. Uh, I think he is a good bowler even in Sena conditions. Might not pick a lot of wickets like Ashwin does, but still can contribute a lot with the bat. Gives me an option at number 7 or even 8 if I am building a batting heavy side. So Jadeja for me. is one option. He comes at 7 for me and is also my spinner. And a pacer that I think I can go with, or I can go with an opening batsman. Now, this is the part where I have to also go into a think. Uh, I mean, I can try going with Travis Head as opening, but that's fraught with a lot of danger. I don't
I'll
want
be
to
happy
do.
with that though. I'll be extremely happy with that.
uh, that's, or I can go with Gill or Rahul as couple of options as well. But I think I will defer that decision, and for now, and I will actually go for another fast bowler at this stage. Now there are some options available. Some of them have got good potential, but they haven't played down under, so there's a risk factor over here. Um, I will actually go with somebody who isn't in the best of form, but can do really well. Because he's played in Sena conditions before. So I go with Mohammad Siraj, even though he's not in the best of form. But I think his experience is something that we should not consider less than some of the other form bowlers that India has right now. So I go with Mohammad Siraj as my third pacer. I think my tail is looking really wobbly, but I think this is the best that I can think of right now. So I've got Jadeja at 7, Siraj at possibly 10. Those are my two picks in this round. Uh, passing it over to you for your two picks now.
Yeah. So now what I'm looking at is filling in that third pacer slot because I think we are running thin of options right now, and I want to pick the best of what we have left. And for me, that would be Scott Boland, an amazing
Mhm.
bowler in Australian conditions, has an average of what, around 12 or something. Although
Yeah, it's crazy average.
he's in his mid 30s, but I still feel if he's at his best, he is a handful along with Pat Cummins, Stark, and Ashwin. I think that's a formidable bowling lineup for
It's a
me.
good bowling. Yeah.
And plus, I'll actually have Stark coming in at 10, so my tail is quite strong as of this point, and I can slot in Boland at number 11. So that is one pick that I have. Now I have my number 3, number 5, and number 7 open. So these are the slots that I need to pick up batters for. And now I'll have to actually go through the options that I have left for me.
Yeah.
So from the Australian team, I have Alex Carey, I have Josh Inglis, I have actually these two are good options that I can pick from. And plus, I also need to pick a keeper, right? So that's another thing to consider.
Hmm.
From India, I have Dhruv Jurel.
Yeah.
He's a fairly good candidate right now. Sarfaraz Khan, we don't know what he might bring on a particular day.
He might
Hit in
score
the
100 in the reverse V at the Gabba.
reverse V at the Gamma. True, or he might get out in the most
Each
foolish of
time in the
ways. Who
gully,
knows?
each time in
Yeah,
the
who
gully,
knows?
Mitchell Marsh catching him.
Yeah, or I can go for KL Rahul in the middle order. I don't know. I'm not so sure of him. Yeah, I think I'll go with Alex Carey to bat at number 7 and keep the wickets for me. He seems to be in the form of his life in
Yeah.
Shield cricket right now. So
Yeah.
this is more of an in-form selection for me. Otherwise, I would have been quite inclined to go ahead with Dhruv Jurel. But I think Alex Carey is the right pick for me, and he bats for me at number 7. So I have my lower lineup pretty solid. Mitch Marsh at 6, Carey at 7, Pat Cummins at 8, Ashwin at 9, Stark at 10. So that's a pretty formidable lower middle order and tail. And then Boland at 11. Now over to
So
USS.
who are left with? You are left with a number three and a
3 and a
number
number
and five.
5. Yeah.
Three and number five. Those are the two left. Good picks. I think Carey was something that I think you had to pick, and he's also formed, so maybe he gets picked over English anyways in the Australian team as well. Uh, for me, I am looking for a second opener. I'm looking for another batter in the middle order, possibly a three because Steve Smith will come at four, Pant and Head and 5 and 6 probably, or swap between the two, and Jadeja at 7. And I need an 11. So I need my fourth frontline bowler, and I need number 2 and number 3. Yeah, I can actually go with 2 and 3. I go with Marnus Labuschagne at 3. again one of those players whose average has come remarkably down from the highs that he enjoyed. Um, hasn't made a lot of runs in this WTC cycle. Uh, but he's one of those players that if he gets in and he gets one of those knocks going his way, he can do very well. And because it's in Australia, this BGT, I would prefer him to be a number three. So Magnus for me as number three. So now I'm left with a number 11 and a second opener. Second opener, the options I have you pick both the Indian options. So I am looking just like an Australian selector. Who would be my second opener? They've got Nathan McSweeney, who has hardly played ever a knock in as an opener, in even in first class cricket.
I have an idea for you, SS. You can have Steve Smith open. I'll be more than
Steve
happy with
Smith,
that.
nah.
And
I
then
think even he's done with opening, so I don't think I would convince him. I can look for somebody who opened last time down under and did pretty well. Shubman Gill. I'm not sure of the extent of his injury right now, whether he misses first test or second test. But for the sake of this exercise, if we had to pick him, we can also pick a 12th man at the end of the day. So I think my 12th man will be a reserve opener. So right now I'm going to pick Shubman Gill as my second opener. So that's my way to do it, even though I might need to consider about his injury. So those are my two picks: Shubman Gill at number two and Marnus at number three. So I'm only left with my number 11. While now you have your final picks, AB, number three and number five. Who are you going for?
yeah, actually, SSU, I have to be honest, you caught me off guard. So I was leaving at the number three slot thinking if you pick Marnus, I pick Gill. If you pick Gill, I pick Marnus. But then you pick both of them. So I think this
That's
is
the
where it
poker.
gets.
That's the poker skills coming to the fore.
So for me, I think I have to pick three and five, and I think this is where it gets tricky for me because all the main players who have played in these slots and have performed so well have already been picked by you. So number three, you have picked both Gill and Marnus, who were the contenders for me. Number five, you have again picked both Pant and Head, who were the contenders for me. So I'll again have to go back to the list of the squads and see who we have left. I think KL Rahul is a really good option. So he definitely is one of my contenders. And
He's a troll option right now. He's a troll.
what?
He's a troll option right now.
Yeah, but then one good thing with KL Rahul is that we can float him across the batting lineup and he can do justice to any position that we make him bat at, whether it be number one or number 11. On a particular day, he can bat as a number one, as an opener, and on another day, he can bat as a tail ender, as a number
Yeah.
11. So, yeah, so he definitely is an option for me. I have Dhruv Jurel, I have Sarfaraz Khan.
I think beggars can't be choosers, and I think at this stage, when you're picking KL Rahul, you are going into that territory. But no disrespect to him, I think he's done well before in Australia when he first burst out in the scene. He's going through a lean patch, but I think he's still better than some of the other options you have.
I think I'll definitely go with KL Rahul as one option. Yet to decide whether he bats at number three for me or at number five. Another thing which I'm quite inclined to do is see if I can slot in Nitish Kumar Reddy in the lineup, and because I
Yeah.
have a lot of players who can bat for me, he can also give me a few overs. But then again, I don't really need all those overs from him because I have
You
Mitch
already
Marsh.
have four fast bowling options. You
Yeah,
have Mitch
yeah.
Marsh and you have got three frontline Cummins, Stark, and Boland.
So I don't really need him because we are talking about Australian conditions. So I'd also be inclined to go with Josh English at five. But let's see, who do we have left?
You have Sarfaraz, Dhruv Jurel. You have also Nathan McSweeney, who is naturally a number four, number five batter. But yeah, we are just going by his build up that has been given by Australian analysts. So we don't know. We haven't seen him.
Yeah, I think from the list of players that we have left, it's KL Rahul at three for me and Josh Inglis at five for me, which means that my team's batting actually hinges on Virat Kohli. Let's hope
And
he
and Rohit Sharma.
and Rohit Sharma, and I hope Jaiswal scores a few hundreds in the series.
Yeah, so your batting is actually very India centric. You have got Jaiswal, Rohit, VK, and KLR, and then your bowling has got a lot of Australian flavor to it. And test
Correct.
matches are won by 20 wickets, so I'm just trying to cheer you up because of your pathetic looking batting.
Come on, it's not pathetic. Do you think Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Mitch Marsh, Alex Carey? I mean, they're fairly good. And Mitch Marsh, Alex Carey are riding the
Yeah,
wave of
Kerry is also
form.
there. Yeah. Kerry is
Yeah,
also there at number seven for you. Okay. Yeah,
and plus I like when you talk about Indian teams, the batting actually starts from number five, number six, number seven. I have Pat Cummins coming in at number eight, Ashwin at number nine, Stark at 10. So these are the players that I look
yeah,
forward to.
you actually have a long batting lineup because Ashwin probably will come at number nine for you. Yeah, so that's a
And
very
Stark at
strong.
10.
Yeah, for me, the batting kind of fizzles out after seven, in a way, because I've got Jadeja at seven, who people sometimes say isn't such a great batter in in test matches in Sena, but so
But
be it.
I'm really looking out for who do you pick as your next player,
Yeah, it's the final pick, so I get only one pick because that's my number 11.
and that
And
will be very defining for your team combination as well.
exactly. So ideally, I because I have Jadeja and possibly head bowling few overs, and even Marnus can spin a bit. So from a front line option in Australian condition, except SCG in Sydney, you would possibly want to go with four seaming options, in which three I have already in Bumrah, Hazelwood, and Siraj. So option would be Akashdeep as one option. Would be possible. He's looked good whenever he has come and played for India. That's my default in my mind. The other one is vastly ignored by both of us. Nathan Lyon hasn't been considered by both of us, which is very interesting. It is just how it came to be, but it hasn't. If I want to extend my batting and also on a end spin option, I can go with Washington Sundar, who was a remarkable option as well and done so well in BGT last time around. So now it's an option whether I want to extend my batting and do I want a fourth sim option. And
Actually,
it's
you have
not
another option, SS. I don't know if you're considering. You can have a
Nitish Reddy.
Nitish Kumar Reddy, yeah. So an
Yeah,
all-rounder who can bat for you at eight and give you a few overs with the ball, pacer.
yeah, yeah. Actually, that's a very good shout because that will not counter your Mitch M connection because I feel Mitchell Marsh for Australian condition much better. But Nitish Reddy and I have got some kind of faith in Indian players now coming in and playing their first tour in BGT. Last time we saw so many Indian players coming in and playing so well. It's very interesting that I'm going to look over Akashdeep, uh, maybe. But I still have batting till seven. Do I need batting from 8, 9, 10, 11? That's the point.
I mean, I have a really strong bowling lineup, so I'm pretty sure you need.
Yeah, but I've got Khwaja, Gill, Marner, Steve Smith, Pant, Head, Jadeja. That's a strong. Uh, so I think actually I will go with Akashdeep. I think he's done well as a bowler so far. I don't need Lions so very harsh on him, but so be it. That's my 11, and if I had to pick a 12th, I will try to cover for Shubman Gill as the opening option. And since now you have taken KLR, I don't trust Ishwaran at all, so I will go with Nathan McSweeney as my number 12.
Interesting. For me, number 12 again, since I have to look out for strengthening my batting, so number 12 would probably be Sarfaraz. Or actually,
Surprise.
Dhruv Jurel. Dhruv Jurel seems to be a better option right now. So
Yeah,
I'll go with him. Now,
perfect.
SS, who is your captain in this?
Oh, well, my
Steve
captain in this.
Smith, Sandpaper.
Yeah, go with Steve Smith. Sandpaper time. Yeah, I think he also captained one of the test matches. I think I remember last time around when Cummins wasn't available. So it's not as if the team management doesn't want him to captain. So Smith for me.
For me, it's the incumbent Aussie captain, Pat Cummins.
Yeah, I think on captaincy you win. I think he's done really well.
Yeah.
All right. So there you have it. I will read out my 11, and I would also like to name a player or a position I would like to switch with you. If I think I feel very happy with my team. So my team is Usman Khwaja and Shubman Gill as my openers. Marnus at number 3, Steve Smith at number 4, Pant as my wicketkeeper, number 5, Travis Head at 6, Jadeja at 7. So a lot of left-handers, I believe, now in the middle order. Ashwin would be licking his lips, I think, from your side. Bumrah at 8, Hazelwood 9, Siraj 10, Akash Deep 11, with McSweeney as my number 12. And the position and player I would be interested is I really like Mitch Marsh. But the thing is, if I swap with Jadeja, then I will have to think about Lion instead of Akashdeep. So that is the kind of a flip I would have liked to make in a real world scenario. What about you, AB?
So my 11, Jaiswal and Rohit Sharma to open, KLR at number 3, Virat Kohli at 4, Josh Inglis at 5, Mitch Marsh at 6, KD at 7, Pat Cummins at 8, Ashwin 9, Stark 10, and Boland 11. One play that I would want to switch with you would be I will pick Travis Head instead of Josh Inglis at number 5 for me. So that really strengthens my batting lineup because that
I was
seems to be.
surprised. I thought that you would also think of Pant and English straight swap.
Yeah, I thought about it. So it was a close call, but then I went ahead with Travis Head because of
We have been
Australian
burned
condition.
too much by Travis Head.
Yeah, I don't want to leave it to chance with you having him in your side. Yeah, so that is my batting lineup. And one more thing is because I wanted to strengthen my middle order is because I really want to tire out your pace ballers because I know you have three good pacers. One of them is not in form, so it's mostly between Bumrah and Hazelwood. Akashdeep very new, not as experienced, and I feel if Bumrah and Hazelwood are tired out in the game, then I have a really good chance of building a long innings and just keeping your team out in the field.
Yeah, we have given a big FU to Evan Galbis effect in my team. After 7, we don't bat, but we don't care. We want to pick 20 wickets. So
So,
it
what
was
do you
a
think, SS? What
yeah.
do you think, SS? A quick take on my team. What's good? What's bad? What's ugly?
I have serious doubts on your batting because that's where a lot of questions are in terms of the form as well, uh, and also the quality. I don't think English at 5, and considering form, KLR as well. I think that's a problem. So you have a long batting lineup, but it's notional in nature, as we like to say. So, so, but, but I love Yashasvi Jaiswal as a pick. I think he will do really well, and you've got great pace bowling option. I think both our teams have good options, but I think your has that extra zing because it has got three Australian options. From a condition perspective, they're really, really good. So I like that part, but I don't like your batting.
Fair enough. My take on your team is I definitely feel one big drawback in the team is your batting depth. After
Yeah,
number 7, you
yeah,
don't bat. I feel you lack a world class spinner. And that's why
yes,
I picked Ashwin because it's only between Ashwin and Lion. I thought you had to pick Lion, but then you skipped him over. And I think
yeah,
that is so one place where my batters will be able to cash in, specifically days 4 and 5, and you'll
yeah.
struggle to
If the games go to day 4 and 5.
days 4 and 5. Yeah, but yeah, that's a big point of weakness I feel in your team, not having a world class spinner when we had two
Mhm.
options. And
Yeah,
I really like your batting. I mean, full points to you for that. I think that's a strong batting lineup. But then I also feel I have a strong bowling lineup, so that gets neutralized.
yeah. I think the funny part is the form guide. In even if you look at my batting, I feel very positive about it. But Marner, Steve Smith, very
Even
free
head.
form for both of them. Head as well. So, but I will back them in Australian conditions and BGT. So there you have it, guys. That those were our two teams. A lot of fun doing this exercise. It was quite different from the regular 11s that we make this draft 11, and we hope to do more episodes like this in which we do such a thing.
Another thing which we'll do in addition to just a discussion is we'll put out our teams on a fantasy platform and then see what the leaderboard actually looks like. We'll give you regular updates during the series and also the final result around whose team fared better, mine or SS's.
That's
and
that's
will publish the
absolutely
results.
that's absolutely fantastic to think about. And this gives a lot of bone in the game. Wish I knew this before I was drafting my 11. We would have thought much longer and much deeper. But
Was
yes,
this a curveball for you, SS? Because I know I have better swing bowlers than you in my team.
yeah, I gave you the curveball for giving you the first draft pick, and then I thought that this will give me two picks and all, but I didn't know that you had such a deep poker move in you. So yeah, this was a fun exercise. We will hope to do more draft exercises. These are much more fun than some of the regular 11s that we make. But we will try to give it a good mix as we go along in our future episodes. A lot of content coming on across to all of you as BGT is upon us. Uh, we are available on all podcasting platforms. Spread the word, and we also publish a midweek bonus edition of hot takes as well. Looking forward to that, and looking forward to listening to your feedback. So have a nice weekend, have a nice week ahead whenever you are listening to this, and take care. Bye bye.